This is Schwermetallisch. I'm sitting here with Dejan and Henrik Petersen of the band Screamer. Hi, guys.
Hi.
So, I thought about what I wanted to talk about with you guys, and it was late at night. I was lying in the bed, and it was like if you're having a bad nightmare and you're throwing yourself from left to right, what will it be? And I realized that I saw you guys live almost on every tour for the respective outputs, and it was in Essen in the Turok. I don't know what year that was, but that was the first output, the cover with the bleeding fingers, and that was really that was in hindsight it was pretty shitty what I did or did not do. I sat with your first singer. I sat at the bar after the gig and we talked a bit, and someone came up and said, "Hey, we're doing a backstage party or an after party at the hotel, blah blah blah," and I was like, I have to go home. My girlfriend is waiting. Yeah, I really did that.
Never say no to an after party.
I think I don't remember that after party.
I guess it was with Bullet as well.
So I think we probably were at the after party, but I can't remember the after party.
It may very well be the fact that the dude that would come up and say, "Hey, let's do that after party," were not someone from the band. And after I said I have to go home, you guys said, "Fuck you, who are you?" I don't know.
Usually the after parties with the band is more after parties with the crew.
Yeah, we're getting old. We go to bed now after the shows. Most often.
I can only imagine how to play a Screamer set totally hungover. No.
We've been doing it, but it's not a good idea.
It was easier 10 years ago.
Yeah. It was 10 years ago. Everything was easier 10 years ago.
Now
I was 30 10 years ago, and with 40 it's like you party one day and you're sick for almost a week.
And now when we can't go out and play, and it's like, oh, I have one beer on the Friday night after work, and then it's like, oh, I can't get out of bed for the entire weekend. It's like, oh.
It takes me a bit more. It takes 3 for me.
Yeah.
I can remember some 25 years ago when I went partying. It was we were partying Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and it was just the Sunday to get all clear, and I went to school or to work on Monday. So those were the days.
Yeah, I don't miss those days that much.
We used to party. Me and him used to party a lot of days in a row back in the day. But nowadays, one day is enough.
Yeah, I think one.
Yeah. Yeah, those parties painted really memorable, beautiful pictures that are forever stuck in my head. But I don't want to paint that shit anymore.
No.
It's like, oh no. And as you get older, it's like I know I was in the Zeche in Bochum.
Yeah.
And I fell down the stairs.
Ouch.
Head first into a crowd. You had stairs here and stairs there, and the stairs on the left were like sitting opportunities for people, and I was falling right into those people, rolling over them, and it was like I landed like Deadpool. It was like
so it was a stage dive,
and it was like, fuck it, I'm alive. Okay, my head hurts, my back hurts, and if I would fall like that today, I would literally break apart like the T1000.
Yeah.
And that would be the end of me.
But you should change that story to you stage dive. People moved away.
Intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone died except me. Flames.
Much
Explosions, I don't know.
better story.
And we had swords and horses and bows and arrows and dragons, of course. So
Everywhere.
let's get to the serious part of this interview. You guys had the life sacrifice at the last output. It was in January. Yeah, let's look it up. The band page. Bandcamp page. Oh yeah. So how did that went down? How went that down?
We had been talking about it for a while, and it was intentionally, we thought we would put it out last year for a fall tour, but that never happened. Then we were, but things will get easier up ahead, but nothing really changed. It was like, okay, we will do this as a release in the middle of everything, and since we can't tour to back it up, that's kind of sucks to not be able to tour on a live album, but it feels like a lot of people want a live album to relive the atmosphere that they can't get in today's society, COVID society, or
whatever we live in nowadays. It's been weird.
Yeah, it's been really weird. So I think it was made for a good relief, I think, to get a live album out.
It's something for the people. It's something from Screamer. We're still alive. This is what we can offer right now.
Yeah.
I saw that the artwork is pretty dope. It is a really cool picture, and it's perfect for merchandise, of course. I'm an absolute merchandise maniac. And since we last saw in Oberhausen on your tour with Haunt, and now comes the bad part with the TH. Tennis. That was a glorious evening. And since then I learned to sew, because I thought, okay, this pandemic will be really shitty, and if I have to stay at home for weeks on end and months and maybe years, I don't know. I was unemployed at that moment, and I learned to sew, and I'm into my third vest now.
You can have a good party by yourself.
Yeah, that was a little bit of advice from my girlfriend, because her mother is a professional when it comes to sewing stuff. She's a tailor. Yeah, that should be.
Tailor or seamstress.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Not a sailor. The tailor.
You never know.
The sailing tailor.
Yeah.
That's. Don't give me ideas. And YouTube, of course, did help a lot, and I spend a lot of money for patches.
Yeah.
And yes, I ordered the Screamer patch too, of course. And that's. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
That's my first one.
Yeah, I have an entire box of patches at home, an entire drawer, because every time when we're out touring, you meet a new band, I get the patch, and if you have a 7-inch or something like that, but I don't have the energy to sit there and sew it on. And my thumbs start bleeding and it hurts. So it's like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going for pins nowadays. Because I do know how to handle them.
Maybe Dennis can help you.
Yes, perhaps.
Yeah, of course. I can sew. And I am at a point that almost don't realize it if I put a needle through the whole hand.
Oh, okay. Then you got used to it.
Yeah, it's really like when I started, it was like you're very cautious and trying not to hit your fingers, and it's like how do you call it if you're trying to make a bomb not exploding?
Detonate? No.
Entschärfen. One moment, I got it all here. Entschärfen. Disarm, diffuse,
Okay, yeah.
or deactivate. Yeah, it's like that. You're trying not to trigger the explosive mechanism, and nowadays it's like I'm suing, and I became quite fast at that. And sometimes I realize I'm quite deep into my finger with that needle, and it's like
I thought all Germans have sewing machines, especially made for vests.
yeah, I don't have the space for that.
But that's a good business idea.
Yeah, I think it is. You can have the idea
Heavy metal sewing machines for metalheads.
designed for denim and embroidered patches.
Yeah.
You could just hang your vest in there
Yeah.
and like turn it over and lay the patches all over it and place it and just go fuck it.
You get the vest like a 3D print in a computer and you just place your patches on there and you press enter and it's like done.
I think
That would be great.
yeah. And if you're studying, you're a student, you can do anything.
Yeah.
So you should probably just develop that idea and become a multimillionaire on German denim vests.
And we only take 25%. So
Yeah. It's
For-
a
for
very,
the-
That's okay.
we'll send it over, don't worry.
It's like the tattooing machine from Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. That would be much easier.
yeah, it would not be so painful. And then I would finally get the tattoos done.
I also
sometime.
don't like tattoo polish. It smells weird there. And tattoo people always talk too much. It takes so much. It takes so long time. And still, instead you go back and get more tattoos. So
Yeah.
it's weird.
I think the problem with me is that I'm the one talking too much. And it's like, yeah, okay, that would cost you 500 euros. But it's like this at black and white. Yeah, I know.
Talk 5 hours. So
Yeah, if I have to spend 20 minutes with you in one room, I will want to have 500 bucks for that.
I put a needle on me. I'm gonna talk.
Yeah. Okay. No talking. 50 euros. Talking 500 euros. Okay, that's a deal. So how did that went down with life sacrifice? Was that a good one for you when it came to sales? And how did Bandcamp Friday play into that?
I think it's been very good. The vinyls are almost sold out. Then there was a lot of people. We need CDs as well because I didn't think anybody wanted CDs at first, but then there were almost as many people wanting CDs as well, and it's been quite good sales, and it's also been really good because now it's also funding our new record. That's basically what it's doing now. Because we wanted to learn also how do you do when you release an album on your own. We did it completely DIY, and I think we spent 50 euros on Facebook ads, and that's nothing.
Yeah, that's not much. I already spent, I think, 50 bucks for my Facebook thing, and there's no money in it, so that was stupid. Okay.
We wanted. Okay, how could this work out if we do things on our own? It's an official release, yes, but we didn't treat it as a studio output.
I think the main important thing with that release was we really saw how much support we have from our fans, because we didn't know that we were talking like, let's just do this ourselves. And like Henrik said, we were working on the project. It's more for our fans who love Screamer. It was never meant to be like a big live album to sell. We didn't think of it like let's do a record label, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this small.
Yeah, for the fans.
Yeah, for the fans. And I think the biggest surprise was really, we might not have the biggest fan base, but we have a strong fan base and we have a lot of support. And I know people like us, but I didn't know people liked us that much.
Yeah.
So that was a very positive surprise, and I think it gave everybody in the band a lot of more new energy and motivation to go on and do more stuff in the future. So
yeah, that's been the hard part the last year.
Yeah,
finding motivation to do anything. It's like
because we've always been, when we do records, we only do records to tour. If somebody asked us, you can tour every day for the rest of your lives, but you don't have to spend time in the studio, argue with each other and write songs, we would have done that, but yeah.
It's not how it works now.
No.
Unfortunately.
But that doesn't mean we don't like writing new songs and playing new music. But the live part for us, it's so important.
Yeah, it's the live.
It's what's been the core of the band.
Yeah, it's the essence.
Yeah, that's what we want to do. We want to play live.
Yeah, I think if you had the opportunity to play live for the rest of your existence on this plane, you couldn't write new songs and you have to play the songs you got forever on end, and I think that would drive you crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe. It would be, but it's like, that's, I don't know, it's going away from, leaving the factory and go out to tour and hang out with people at the merch table or go to the bar next door and have drinks with new friends, old friends, and getting that release every day is very, I wish everybody could do that from time to time, because it's a good reality check, and it's really gives a lot of more value to your existence in general. I think it's we can do this 9 to 5 thing, but you need a reason to do the 9 to 5 thing. For me, that's how it works, at least.
I think touring for me has always been, it's always stressful before you go on tour. You have to make sure everything's in order. But when you go on tour, for me it's a feeling of freedom. I feel I have no worries. I know we're gonna play a show tonight. All the hard stuff, it's always there, but it's like, you can breathe. You feel free. You just go on the road. You do what you like.
Yeah, and I know the feeling you describe exactly. It's a mixture of two things I experienced in the last years. One is every time. Do you know the Rock Hard Festival in Germany?
Yeah.
Every time I'm entering the festival area, you have to walk by the taxis, and there's a little ramp that goes I don't know, 2 meters high, and then there's the camping stage, and on this ramp I'm getting goosebumps from my fingers to my head every time, and that's always like, okay, you feel like you're invincible in this moment. It's like, okay, shit is going down, yeah. And the second feeling, that was when I was in the Netherlands for 2 years ago with my girlfriend, and I saw the ocean for the first time for, I don't know, 25 years or so. And at first I thought I'm suffering a panic attack. It's like everything was constricting in my chest, and I saw this and it was like, whoa, as if I could really breathe for the first time for years, and yeah, that kind of freedom is what we all miss, I think. Just meeting stupid people you don't know, and yeah, spend a lot of time with them and be friends at the end of the evening. So yeah, that's a tragic part of this pandemic. But I think maybe we will emerge as something better.
Hopefully after this pandemic, people will appreciate going to shows more and yeah, having a good time.
Yeah,
Hopefully, let's see. We don't know.
because you can't renovate your house forever.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can, but it's not fun. It's only fun the first 2 months.
It's like, do you know the Stephen King novella with a ghost house which keeps getting bigger? Rose Matter, I think it's.
Oh no, I haven't.
So it's like after the pandemic, you have a whole block. This is my house. Everything here is my house. Over there. Acres and acres. So you mentioned that you're writing material for a new album.
Yeah, or an EP, or
Yeah,
how many singles do you want?
yeah, we don't know. We haven't really decided yet. It will be an album eventually, but we've been talking about maybe doing an EP, maybe releasing some singles.
Yeah,
Mostly because we don't know, like putting out an album and not being able to tour. For us as a band, I don't know if that's a good thing.
no,
But maybe in the same way it can. We just don't know. We haven't really decided yet. We have written a lot of songs, so we're working on that all the time. So there is material being worked on. So we just need to figure out how we want to release it.
Yeah. Because it's been working very well for a lot of bands with people only working and not being able to spend money on other things than buying records. So a lot of bands have sold a lot of records during this pandemic, but still that's not perhaps what we want to do, because since we're doing this in our spare time and it's not a full-time job for us, it's a part-time, and it has to be, we have to be smart about it. We spend like 100 hours on writing an album or 15 songs or whatever, and then we need to like portion that out so it works out in a good sense for us as a band to support the tour, or because just putting out small things all the time, we don't have the creativity outlet that Trevor from Haunt has. We can't do 5 albums.
Yeah. He lives next to his PC.
For us, it's a process, and it often starts by Henrik telling me start writing songs, and I'm like yeah, and then I sit with the guitar and just feel angry. No, this is not good enough. Then Anton comes in, and then it starts, and then it builds on top, and all the other guys come in. So it's the creative process. Maybe is a bit long, but
it's how we work.
In one or another way, we get there.
What is the single thing that's most inspiring for you to write lyrics?
We don't know.
We
We
don't
don't
know.
write lyrics.
Andreas writes most of the lyrics.
Okay.
And some lyrics.
Then me and Henrik say it's not heavy metal or it's heavy metal. That's mostly our opinion.
It can't be too
Yeah.
cheap. Quite cheesy people, but it can't be too cheesy.
Yeah. If it's about cool stuff, we're good with it. But
Yeah, but if it's
But I think-
if it's too much about love, then it's like, nah.
we usually leave Andreas to write all the lyrics, and then we say if we think it's okay or not. Usually it's okay.
Yeah.
We've had songs mostly about touring, because that's what we love the most.
Yeah.
Since
It's
Since-
where we all
since we
five of
na-
us
we-
meet up.
Yeah, we also named the record "Highway of Heroes." So
which was a great album.
Yeah, and that is the highway between Ottawa and Toronto in Canada.
yeah, there is a highway called the Highway of Heroes. We were touring in Canada, and there was this sign that says the Highway of Heroes. It was, yeah, like Henrik said, between Ottawa and Toronto. And we were like, "That's a good name for a song. Let's keep that."
Yeah.
Yeah, so if that works, that's fucking great. You guys were on the German Sword Brothers festival.
Yeah, when we toured with Attic in
2013.
2013 in
Yeah.
March.
That was
yeah.
in Lucas in Lunen.
Yeah.
Yes, and I know I was there with a friend of mine, and yeah, his taste is sometimes a little. He's like, no, the band you like, but my bands, oh, yeah, and it's like, oh, go fuck yourself, please.
Like, damn, it's like all
And he was there because of Attic, and was like, "Wow, it's the best band! Yeah, you need to check them out! Yeah!" And I was like, "Hey, you better check out Screamer." And he was like, and so I forced him to watch you guys, and I purchased a T-shirt on that evening. I know the Phoenix one.
Yeah.
And I outgrew it. I became too fat for it.
Yeah.
But he was a decent fan after that. He said, "Yeah, okay, they were fucking great." So my mission was accomplished, and yours too.
Yeah. But that was Sacred Steel headline that night as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sacred Steel, I think.
Yeah. It was a good night.
There was actually an after party with the Sacred Steel guys that night.
Yeah.
Henrik doesn't remember because he folded it in half. He was so drunk. But I remember somebody from, I think he sang in Sacred Steel, that guy, or I don't remember. But there was some guy singing Manowar songs the whole night.
That probably was him, yeah.
We stayed one extra night at that hotel because we were supposed to do a few extra shows. I think that's that tour.
No, we had a day off that day.
We had a day off. No, it was Hell of Hammarby, and then we ended at the German Sword Brothers.
No,
we were supposed to go to.
No, that tour began with Hell of Hammarby.
Yeah, and it ended in German Sword Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we were supposed to go to Spain.
Then we were supposed to go to Spain, and then Dejan backs out our old Renault Traffic, our old band, and it's like, come on, now the steering wheel came off. So, but we were outside Leipzig, so we had to have played a show in Leipzig, whatever. And so we had to drive. We had to cancel our first shows ever in Spain. And then we had to drive home to Sweden in 60 kilometers per hour with a wrench tightening the steering wheel all the time. And that, when I came home, I felt like, then I got like death anxiety. It's like, okay, this could have gone really bad.
I drove from Leipzig to the ferry, 70. I had 16 Red Bulls and 50 coffees. All the other guys were sleeping. When I came to the ferry, I was like...
Also, the start engine was broken as well, so we had to push start that bus.
But the funny thing, the story we never tell people, that the song Demon Rider is actually about that van.
Yeah.
You used to call it the Blue Demon because it was this ugly blue color. It was like, imagine if pastel blue, the color pastel, blue, had faded and started to mold. That's kind of the blue it was.
Okay. I love that song, by the way.
If you listen to that song, I think the lyrics are, it's not, what the fuck are the lyrics? There's something black and blue in the lyrics. Death isn't black, it's blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's about that van.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great song. I remember on the last gig that it was one of the highlights for me to listen to Demon Rider, and my memory is really fucked. But my favorite song of Highway of Heroes is Out of the Dark.
Yeah.
That's catchy as fuck.
That seems to be everybody's favorite song nowadays.
Except for the people that keeps commenting online, they've gone soft, and it's like, dude, we have cool songs as well. And they're like, meh. And they post a song from the first album. Like, yeah, but we're not at the first album anymore. But I understand and respect that you like the first one
So
the best.
just to pay revenge to everybody, we're gonna write 10 songs like Out of the Dark next album.
No, I don't think so.
No.
You could do a live stream playing that for 4 or 5 times in a loop.
We've been talking about doing a live stream playing all the songs we never play.
Yeah, I think
Because
that would be a fun thing.
apparently everybody keeps asking us to play the song "Lady of the River" from the Phoenix album.
Yeah.
I still remember we played that song once, but the other guys tell me we played that song twice live. I have no memory of playing it twice.
I think one at the Bavarian Metal
Yes.
In 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the third time we ever played it, because we jammed on it before we recorded it, then we played it in the studio, and then we played it live. So 3 times I think we played it.
Yeah.
So you guys have been around for quite a long time, 2009 now, and what bands are out there you still want to play with?
New or old, or doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, every band we can play with anybody. Doesn't really matter. We've been talking a lot. We would really like to go on tour with Hammerfall.
Yeah.
Me and Henrik talk about that like once a month. That would be a really fun, because
that Hammerfall is the band that got me into heavy metal. I think my first show I actually bought a ticket to when I was 13, and they released Renegade, or 14. 13 or 14. So
when did that came out? 2002?
No, in 99, I think.
2000?
99.
Somewhere around that.
Yeah, and it's been. I bought every record since, because it's like, yeah, I don't do that with a lot of bands. I start with a lot of bands. I purchase the albums from the start, and then it's like not a lot of bands follow me through an entire career. But Hammerfall is one of them. Even if it's not the coolest band to name drop or whatever, I still think they're really good.
I would love to see them performing The Dragon Lies Bleeding live.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I seen their first. I think their very first gig in the Netherlands. They were touring for Glory of the to the Brave at that time, and that was the Dynamo Festival in 1998. 1998, yeah, I think. And that was like, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. But other than that,
there is a funny story. There used to be a we live in a small town in Sweden. Yeah. There used to be a festival here called Mjälenrock.
No, it was Ådraget.
Ådraget.
It's like 200 meters from Danceport.
Yeah,
here.
it's just behind that window over there. There used to be a festival there. Hammerfall came with all the armor they were live in an old Volvo, played the show, got in the Volvo, and drove away. It's like, it's a funny story.
Yeah.
So they came with the stage armor on, played, went away.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I still remember when Joachim was attacked in a bar.
What?
Yes, he's got that really big scar on his forehead because he was attacked in a bar with a broken bottle.
Oh.
It was like, I don't know, 20 years ago or something like that. And yeah, I still remember that.
That's insane.
Feeling old right now.
Other than that, it's like we
We've
would like to tour with like any band.
Yeah.
I think if we talk big bands, yeah, perhaps Hammerfall, Airborne, whatever. But like smaller bands, it would be kick-ass to go out with, again, with Evil Invaders or with Attic or Striker.
Haunt again.
Oh, Striker would be great. Hammerfall, Striker, Screamer, and as a headliner, I would say Judas fucking Priest.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So Hammerfall are the opening band?
No, you.
Okay. Yeah, and but it's I don't know.
It would be fun. I think we're not that
Headliner, I think.
Yeah, for us, of course, if we get the opportunity to go on tour with Metallica, we're gonna do everything in our power to make it the best show we can do. But of course,
I don't think that would ever happen.
You never know. But it's the thing we've never been afraid of going on tour with anybody. It's for us, it's just a pleasure meeting new people, playing with new bands, and doesn't matter if it's underground or if it's a good band, we would like to tour with them. It's for us, it's never been that important.
And it's always good to have the opportunity to steal the fans.
Yeah, but I think like being like rational about it, like what we need to do if we want to grow the band is obviously going on a ton of support tours, but yeah, you need to get on the support slots as well. It's not just do this and just do that. It's a lot of hard work in the backstage to get all of that stuff actually happening. But we're staying positive and hoping a few things will pan out this year or next year even more. We're working with a lot of things, even though we don't show that like online or talk about things. We are working quite hard on a lot of things.
Yeah, we are. When the opportunity comes, we always work the hardest we can to do the best from our position and situation. So
yeah,
that is something you can feel when seeing you guys on stage. I think the last gig I saw with you on Horn and Tenet was really. Everyone worked their asses off, and there was sweat in the air. It was really a fucking great evening.
It's the only thing we can do. We can try to do a lot of things in the backstage and behind the scenes, but when push comes to shove, when we stand on stage, we have to give not 110%, but 150%. We have to make everybody that comes to the show feel like this is the best Screamer show I've been to.
Yeah, it has to be that every night.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's 50 people or 5,000 in the crowd, because you still have to be in that same mindset. That kind of goes back to the part when we started talking here, that you can't really be hungover every day and being able to maintain some sort of level on everything.
No.
We have realized over the last few years, we were a party band before, but perhaps not so much anymore, because it comes back biting in the butt when you play a bad show. And when you play a bad show for someone that has paid 20 euros for a ticket, that's a dick move. You can't do that. It has to be the best possible evening for the person that goes to the show every night.
Yeah. And now imagine the mindset of Axl Rose. So I decided to let you guys wait for 4 hours because I'm a prick, and you paid probably $100 for that gig.
We paid 130 euros each. We were a bunch of friends. We went to see Guns N' Roses in Copenhagen, and it was actually quite fun. But I think the whole day was fun. We were meeting up. We were day drinking our way through Copenhagen, and then we got to the arena, and everybody lost each other. Then we met up again, and then
But it wasn't that much delay. I think it was only 25, 30 minutes. So I think he's lost his rock stardom actually.
Yeah. And the positive thing about going to shows in Denmark, contra going to shows in Sweden. In Denmark, you can buy the strong beer at the concerts and schnapps. So me and Henrik, the last song, we were like, "Take me down to the. Let's go buy some hot dogs now."
Yeah.
But it was a fun show. It was, if you ask me, they could have played 1 hour less and not do so many covers. But all in all, they played all the hits, and I think, you don't go to a Guns N' Roses show to hear Chinese Democracy. Maybe,
No.
but
Me neither.
Yeah, to be honest, I listened to this record once.
I've only listened to single tracks, not the entire
I haven't
album.
listened to the album at all. But I can imagine if it. I remember when did the Saint Anger with Metallica come out?
Oh, one moment. I will look that up.
Because I remember I was a huge Metallica fan back then, and I was waiting for that album so long. I was like, this is gonna be so good. And I would listen to it, I was like, do I have to like it? It's like I was so disappointed. But yeah.
So 2003.
2003, yeah. So I was 52 then. No, but I can imagine a lot of people having that feeling when Chinese Democracy came out. Like, we've been waiting for this for so long, and it's maybe some people think it's a good album, but I don't know. I haven't listened to it, so I'm not gonna.
I only know I think 2 songs of that record, and one of those songs is Saint Anger, and I think that is the biggest piece of shit Metallica ever produced, and I'm really a big Metallica fan. I love the old records, of course. I love a few of the songs they did in between, and I love Death Magnetic and Hardwired. Hardwired is for me is almost a return to 80s form.
I like half of that album. I thought if they only made 10 songs, it would have been a good album. But I'm the wrong guy to discuss music because I don't really like anything. So I always Anton, the other guitar player, he loves Metallica. So I always tell him my favorite Metallica song is "Trapped Under Ice" because I know it's gonna make him a bit angry. So I have to comment. But I also like the song. It's not that. I think "Ride the Lightning" is the best Metallica album.
Oh no!
Oh no! The lights went out.
What? Witching hour in Sweden.
Yeah, we had professional camera light and everything.
We brought in like professional lighting. So now we're using the regular light. We also tried to connect a real super camera, but the USB thing didn't work. So we almost smashed the camera, but luckily we didn't.
Almost, I did.
Yeah, I was screaming several curse words in Swedish.
That's okay.
Like, PC can go fuck itself.
One thing I don't know about you guys, or 2 things, okay. The first thing I want to ask is what brought you guys into music, and what bands did influence you the most?
For me, I come from a lot of Swedish punk music. Then, a lot of Swedish punk. Started to play in a lot of punk bands. I had, of course, my older brothers. They had like the Iron Maiden records at home, and like the rock and heavy metal was there as well. But mainly it was, I don't know. I don't think it's name dropping the bands I listen to. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows outside of Sweden. But that's where it started. And then, as I said before, going to the Hammerfall show, and then was a lot of In Flames, the late 90s In Flames. Also when Arch Enemy released Wages of Sin, the first record with Angela Gosso, it's like, okay, then I got into a lot of type of melodic metal and the punk at the same time. And then I don't know, in my early 20s, I ended up with more traditional heavy metal in general. I think for me that's how it was at least.
Yeah. For me, I remember we were in school and everybody was listening to like bands like Linkin Park, and me and my friends were always searching for not cooler music, but tougher music, more extreme. So we early started listening to because I'm born 1990, so like all those In Flames, Arch Enemy, and all those bands at the Gates, they were like right in time for us. So we listened to a lot of that. Then my dad showed me 70s rock like Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple. So I've always had that thing going on. Still, The Doors. I've always played that in a van, and I'm the only one sitting there and enjoying it. So I think those two paths brought me to the heavy metal thing, but I've also always been curious about everything. So I've been listening to 70s prog music, more modern stuff, and so everything. But heavy metal is always something like, for me, it's more fun. It's more fun music than everything. There's no, when you listen to some bands, it's pretentious or it's, you have to. But heavy metal, you just enjoy it. It's just fun. It's always fun. Yeah. And that's what like back in the day when we used to play. Me and him used to play in bands back in the day. It's like we always try to do something like this, but I don't think we all found our way musically and everything in heavy metal, classic traditional heavy metal. But of course all the death metal bands and Entombed and all that stuff. I think that's deep in our DNA, coming from Sweden, and In Flames and all that stuff like that. Or At the Gates. We love At the Gates. Me and Henrik have seen At the Gates in 3 different countries all over the world.
I've seen them in Montreal, Germany, and in Sweden as well.
We went to Wacken in 2008 just because At the Gates had a reunion show.
Yeah, well, you would get along with my brother because he's more on the extreme side of metal. In parts, he likes death metal and At the Gates and stuff like that. And I recently started to listen to more extreme stuff in order to be able to review more stuff.
Yeah.
And
extreme band right now has to be Tribulation. I think the latest record for me was a home run. I think that was easily one of the best albums I've heard in a long time.
Tribulation. Okay, I will check that out. I'm still learning.
Doom something.
Doom, something with gloom and doom, and yeah.
But they're artists.
Yeah. Right now, I'm listening to Twisted Sister. So, yeah, it's a mix.
Yeah,
it's a mix,
and I think that's like for the band in general. We all have we don't come from the same background, but we join forces. And also
like Henrik is telling me, I also grew up listening to a lot of punk bands and all the crust punk bands because I had friends who listened to that, and I was never negative to intercept the music. Of course, I didn't like everything. Like everybody when they're 15, they're like, oh, that band is shit, but we always find some band.
Yeah, that's right.
It's always, I don't think you can just listen to, but what I think still I still think Jimmy Page and Led Zeppelin is still the coolest guitar player, and like Richie Blackmore, I still think those guys are the coolest guitar players ever, and Eddie Van Halen, but that probably has to be like from when you were growing up, and that sticks with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's the riffs and the melodies they invented at that time and they wrote at that time, and it's cemented in your memory as the biggest things you ever heard, and yeah, it's hard to be better than that. So I have one final question for you guys, and it's I'm still testing questions because I don't. I'm currently at the. You guys are the 52nd interview since July.
Oh.
And I think I did 40 interviews with the same questions mostly, and then I got sick of it. And now I'm asking stupid stuff. It's character questions. It's got nothing to do with music, but I like this question a lot. So, what are your favorite dinosaurs?
Velociraptor.
What's the one with that can fly?
Pterodactylus?
Yeah, that's one of them.
I like that one.
He hasn't majored in Jurassic Park.
I've watched the Jurassic Park, but they've never been my movies. But
Yeah,
I like ones because they come in like.
Yeah, for me it's like you said you were born in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I was born 1998 and 1980. So yeah, and it's just the classic. You grow up and you get your parents get you books with dinosaurs, and I come from that place where you learned a few dinosaur names, and suddenly 1993 Jurassic Park 1 is in the cinemas, and it's one of the first movies you go to in the cinema with your dad, and the first movie I ever watched in Dolby Surround.
Yeah.
I almost suffered a stroke. It was like, oh my god!
I was so scared going to that movie on the cinema, but I think that's why I still love that movie. But I have never been as scared as being. Which year did it come out? I think I was 6 or 7. And yeah, it was like going to a horror movie for me, but I still love it.
I still remember my mom taking me and my little brother to the South Park movie. We went 2 times. She was reading magazines during the movie.
The only or the first movie I ever remember to watch 2 times in the cinema was Matrix, the first one.
Yeah.
I remember, when did the Lord of the Rings movies, the first one,
2000 something.
Yeah.
10 years old. Me and my dad went to all those movies. Those were real. But I rewatched them, I think, during Christmas. I didn't like them as much as I did when I was younger.
No.
But I've never been a big fan of dragons and swords and stuff like that. So,
But it's the mightiest and coolest.
I'm more into like the Star Wars thing. Even though I think the latest 3 movies were shit. Not shit, but not that good.
It was strange. The first one of the new trilogy was like I really cared about that movie. I really loved that. The second one was still great, but the scene with Luke milking aliens and drinking that shit was a little bit off for me. And the third one looks pretty great, but it lacks a feeling. So this the typical Star Wars feeling, the goosebump moments. It's just not there.
Maybe
I don't know why.
Church, I think the episode 1, 2, 3, the Jar Jar Binks movies, as I call them, I think they are better than the 3 new ones. Or maybe it's a thing. Maybe it's a thing because I saw them when I was little or young. Maybe.
Yeah, Jar Jar Binks is the deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
I saw the original trilogy when I was little. They came. They were reruns every year. The whole trilogy. It was the late 80s, and I think one of the reasons why I don't like episode 1, 2, and 3 is the first episode features a kid. It's a bit off, and the explanation with the Force was like, okay, that's an absolute cock block.
But
Force block.
are still the best Star Wars movies. I can see them once a week. For me, I think it's great. It's something magic about those 3 first movies. You can't explain it.
and I got memes in my head while you're talking. It's like, I know. I just fucking love Han Solo. He's the coolest character ever for me. And did you guys see The Mandalorian, the show?
Yes.
Yes, I got Disney Plus just to see that. Then I canceled Disney Plus before I finished the Mandalorian. Everybody kept telling me it was so amazing, but I was like, this is like seeing a warrior princess. This is not for me. An entire world tells me I'm wrong, but I stand my ground. I didn't like it.
That's okay. That's okay.
My favorite thing about The Mandalorian is the ending.
Yes.
Our tattoo guy told us, imagine the guy who plays the Winter Soldier, Sebastian Stan. Imagine him playing Luke Skywalker. Then they can do a whole show about Luke Skywalker.
It's being discussed. It's really being discussed.
They were talking about. They just released the cast for the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, and it's the original cast from the episode 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
So Hayden Christensen is going to play Darth Vader, and Ewan McGregor is going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then some other actors, I don't know who they are, and Ice Cube's son is going to play some. So he's going to be OG gangster in the Star Wars.
I really think it's great to get more Vader.
Yeah. The only thing I think is it's going to come to a point when everything is milked out, and everything's going to start to be mega shit.
But they have a lot of sidetracks.
Because I like that movie Rogue One. I thought that was a good Star Wars movie. The Han Solo movie I didn't like because I didn't like the actor who played Han Solo. So,
you know, a fun fact is that in Germany they got a what's the fucking word for this shit again? The guy who's doing the voice.
The voiceover.
Yeah, the German voiceover. The new guy who did the Han Solo job for the Solo movie, he has a certain vibe to his voice, sounding like the original voiceover for Harrison Ford.
Okay.
And that was really, really fucking great, because anytime he speaks, it's like, is it the same dude?
Yeah.
No, it's not. But he's sounding like that.
I haven't seen the German version, so I don't really have an opinion.
The voice actor for Harrison Ford has a really great voice.
But a funny thing is, I saw a clip on YouTube. They were talking about Germans translating movies from English to German, and I think we have the same problem in Sweden. Like Die Hard is sterb langsam, die slowly. So the translation, and like, vad heter den filmen på Now We Blow the Cops? Blåser i snuten, vad heter den på engelska?
Jag vet inte.
Yeah, there's a movie, like an old movie called Nu blåser vi snuten. And it's not called like that in English, but the Swedish translation is Now We Blow the Cops. So we have the same problem. Henrik's gonna look up what that movie is called in the real title.
You guys have to check out the voice actor for Bruce Willis. He's got a very phenomenal voice. And even Bruce Willis said, whoa, that's a great voice.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Smokey and the Bandit is translated to Swedish from English to Swedish to Now We Blow the Cops.
Smokey and the Bandit, is that a Burt Reynolds movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
In Sweden it's called Nu blåser vi snuten, Now We Blow the Cops.
I think it's only Bandit in Germany, or we got a TV show. There's a TV show, an American TV show that was based on that movie, just called Bandit, but without Burt Reynolds.
But the Die Hard and Sterb langsam.
Yeah, it's because you can't really translate it in a good way, because Die Hard in German, correctly translated, would be Die Heavy.
Yeah.
Stirb schwer. That's just stupid.
Those translations are always funny.
And
We only talk about translations from movies for an hour.
and I think there's already another movie with Steven Seagal called Hard to Kill. And you could have translated it that way. It's like schwer zu töten. But I think it overlapped or something like that. Or the translator just said, it's stupid, but it sounds great. So fuck it.
Yeah.
I would have done that too. It's like, fuck it.
It's like,
Who cares? Maybe someone 30 years from now talks about this in a YouTube chat. So, So, my time for today is up, guys. Thank you very much for taking the time, all of your busy days, for chatting a bit with me. And I would like to do another one as soon as you got any news on the next material. And one thing I wanted to say a few minutes ago is your best strategy would be to postpone it as much as possible.
yeah.
It's like Tantra, just with rock and roll.
Because we've been talking about that as well. There have been a few bands releasing records even during Corona. I don't know if it's just how I see it, but it feels like the album is relevant for 2 to 3 weeks, and then it feels like it's gone, or it's just me, or maybe it's just me, but
Yeah, but if you get the album and then you know the band will come on tour in 1.5 months later, then you get like...
You keep listening, you keep sharing it with your friends.
Yeah,
Like,
so it's all that. It's like how to go about it.
Yeah, it's a bit like the release itself is just a foreplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
And Trevor does it that way, that he's constantly releasing singles and new merch. I don't know how he does that, because he releases I think 15 different shirts, patches, and stuff like that every year. And it's like, okay, that's great, but I would have to be a fucking billionaire in order to buy this stuff.
Yeah.
So
What we've noticed is that it's better to have a lot of different designs, because then you have something that fits everyone. I love yellow shirts and red shirts, but metalheads seem to only want to buy black shirts. I think it's a good thing to have, if you can. It's expensive to do merch, but if you can, it's good to have a lot of different stuff.
I like the colorful ones too. Despite me being more heavy built.
Yeah, but I am as well, and I like the colors. It's like, I'm not body conscious. It's like, just go for it. It's be yourself all the time.
Fuck it, I'm wearing this.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like the mental approach you need to everything.
Yeah, that's the spirit.
I'm not choosing black. I'm choosing blue jeans. It's like
I almost only wear blue jeans, so fuck that. Or cargo pants, just because I don't use the extra pockets. I just think they look cool. It's like, yeah, I got pockets.
you never know when you need them.
That is correct. If you buy merch and you buy patches and stuff like that, it's like, okay.
Then you get drunk and you come home and you have 50 patches in your cargo pants. And then you're lucky because you have your new CNC patch vest maker. You just press enter and all the patches will be on the vest.
Yeah, you can just take a nap while he manages your new battle vest.
Yeah.
The idea we talked about earlier, the sewing machine for metalheads.
Yeah. Also,
patent pending.
Yeah, 25%. Yes.
The Patchmaker 666.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for having us.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
We will
And-
talk about new releases and the process and everything, the studio and all that.
We can
other
all,
stuff.
if you want, you can get a studio tour from us sometime up ahead. We have our own studio, so let's do an interview there next time.
Yeah, sure. Bring your instruments.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a nice evening.
You
Thank
as
you.
well.
Bye.
Bye.